Yep. Hello, 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 and welcome. This is Jonah the Jewel Design, and here we are, probably with the last Saturday tissue box journal series. Besides a flip through at some point, I think we're down to that point where we're going to finish off our week of toppers. I know Tuesday hopefully was the Christmas one, the pink Christmas topper, and today we are going to be working on our tissue box journals, cute little guys, and we're going to do some toppers for these guys so that we have a cover decor and go from there. So as you see, I have my Sizzix, big shout out. I did not do this on camera because, I was fussing with it, but I wanted to bring in that floral feel that was inside, throughout, and the only way I could think to do about it was to find cardstock, and or scrapbook paper, and cut out my own flowers and branches and leaves to sort of bring that across, because I didn't want to use digitals. I was trying to keep these two journals into scrapbook paper and eco-dyed and whatever I had physically on me, which just reminded me, to do this. Old school, like find what you have in your supplies, whether it be scrapbooking, whether it be whatever kind of journaling, old school, paper crafting that we've been doing. Oh, I do have white ones. Perfect. Okay. Sorry. I was thinking about, I had some white printed flowers. Not so much black, but we put some printed stuff in here. So I used a script washi tape to give it some dimension. We used the ink to do some blotching on the inside. Right. And so each one of the middle of each one of these signatures, because I did glue the two pages together to hide the sewing job, I felt this would be fun to have a little extra ink, and since it's going to stick out a little bit, and decorate each one. Some you still have room to write, some is a little less. I did ink the edges all in green. Right, so we just did different fun things in the middle of each one. Some coincide, some are very separate. This one has very tree and flowers and grass feel. So corners and whatnot. So some have a lot of writing space and some don't. But then you have all these pages. Like I said, probably 186 pages if you don't count the fact, because I should have had 4. Now I only have, instead of 4 pages in the middle, we only have 2. So I lost 2, 4, 6, 8 out of 192. So yeah, I don't do the math. I don't know. 184, 186, something like that. I don't know. Let's just assume we know. But I was able to find Thinlits by Sizzix quite a while back when I was first doing this. I loved one of our ladies and her flowers, but I thought I need to do some of my own. So I found a used Thinlit set, and it came all intact. I was so stoked. And so that's what I did. I put them down and I went for it. I was able to accomplish it. I was so happy with myself. So we have leftovers to help with our cover. But yeah, this big shot is, I was so timid with it when I first got it because nothing fit through. Without it, felt like I was going to crack and break things. We'll come to find out, you have to sort of creak it to get through, and it's okay. I'm learning to like not freak out about it. Because I'm like, oh my god, that doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound good. So what I did notice, though, is when we were doing this, I didn't really get a heavy indent or pressing or binding, which I think because of the fabric and stuff, I'm not going to be able to. Okay. I was watching Our Lady the other night, and I was like, oh, yeah. When she wants to do more of a, like, bound, glued type book thing, she does her cardboard. So I, on the other hand, sewed in, instead of gluing in, the signatures on a harder cover, which, it helps keep it upright, and I'm all happy with it. So we're gonna run with it. But hopefully it's okay. We do have 1 or 2 signatures. They're not perfectly cut. It's perfectly imperfect. But everything is sort of green inked pretty thoroughly. And you have the white pages, and you have the cute inserts. And so, it's good to go to just write and photo memory. And, you could almost put a 4x6 in here. It's a little shorter than that, but, we're almost there. So let's get covers. So I'm going to try to bring those floral pieces inward or outward. Since I'm not doing any digitals, I don't have any journal cards that automatically work with this. And we had fabric left over. I thought we had fabric left over too. I'm trying to figure out whether I use the green here because it almost goes. Then one more color, I don't know. I think it goes well with the inside. It's a little much here. It's pretty to match on that one. But I don't know whether to put grommets here, white ones, nice and simple. Tie it, keeps it closed. we could tie this way, depending on how the front cover ends up, right? We could do really just tight little bow that way. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know how we're going to close it up yet. Depends how bad the front cover goes. So we had these left. I thought they were going to be pockets. I just hated to block any of the flower, which is sort of our whole main purpose to this. You know, to add it to a page, I could. But I only have the 2. I don't have enough for all 4. So I just felt like we had to do a lot of work. So what I'm wondering is if, but we overlap it, it's going to have a bump. I was wondering if we could maybe use them, glue them together as our base and make it that way. But what if we, actually I have an idea. We could put this here, lace and stuff, but let any floral, the floral work isn't as hard. I thought we could let the floral stuff pop across the top, but maybe if I put some lace up there, it'd help reinforce it. Because I'm like, lace might just get caught. I have a lot of the same blue. And I definitely wanted to do some ripped versions of this. But then again, I was like, okay, we have some leaves, right? All this beautiful blue and green. Blue and green everywhere. We just need to layer it and figure out how we want to utilize it, right? Just sort of cluster some flowers maybe. And I do have the big white ones I was just talking about. Oh, these guys were something else. I was like trying to get them cut and go back in and cut some more. Every time I turned around. Here, let's get this one out. Now it's funny, the blue papers are just slightly different. One has constant circles. The other one was swirly. This has the constant circles and a little bit of a yellowy green overlay when the other ones were very bright blue. And so, you know, it's like they were similar, but they were different. In their own right, they were similar and different. Very bright blue, a little bit more of a yellowy tone. Get more muted. So, you know, you did what you had to do. So I was thinking about adding that back in, but we have the leaves. We don't want to do that. I figured we could tear some of this to divide this up a little bit. And let's see. I wanted to bring that script, though, back to the front, right? We did the script washi. Lovely script washi. I don't know. Don't think it really matters. I have no idea if it's in English, Spanish, French, but it's a nice sort of white and black script. And I just distilled distressed and ink behind it. So here's a huge, is that just the one? Sometimes they're doubled up. It's a little big. I wonder if we have a smaller one. Like I have a bunch of black and whites. Aha, maybe some smaller ones. Like a little smaller maybe. There we go. I could put a flower in the middle of it. I'm feeling like we need to do some stuff. Just don't know what stuff we're going to do. Use all of it, none of it, some of it, you know. Oh my goodness. So yes, it's Saturday. Last one, having a blast with this. Yeah, I said probably the next time you'll see this will be these guys will be more of a walkthrough, you know, flip through, because I think that's what we're getting down to at this point. I don't think I have any journal cards for this one. This one's pretty much just going to be a I'm gonna do something like that. I can see where else I can add the 2 in. I've got 2 leaves left over, but I don't know if we need them or not. I made one more set of one at each size really quick last night because I was like, oh, there's pieces left over in the scraps. And then I literally try to use I could probably really go back in if I really wanted to and find every little spot. But you only have one die cut at a time, so go through for that one little spot. Put it somewhere else. Go through that one little spot. Oh my goodness. Went a little crazy there. But hey, you gotta use what you gotta use. I have white ones, but it's too big. I just feel like we definitely want to bring... I don't know. Do I want to go that way? Hold on. I'm trying to decide, which way? Do I want to make it a little different than the cutout? Because the cutouts are, well, they're actually about the same thing. 1, 2, 4, 6. That's 5. That's 5. If we do these cutouts, which are all the same but different color, there's a little bit of an indent in these, which is the bummer. I had some problems with doing it the first time around. I didn't quite cut right. And I was like, oh, I need a different set of pads to get it to cut through. I never know what works and what doesn't. I misread the instructions for this thinlets, and I was like, oh, that's not enough. Okay. No, I think I like that. I think that'll work. I wanted some lace, and we're going to do some ribbed. Okay, I'm just going to start. I just need to give in, right? Just do it. But yes, I have these. I've had these forever. I did black and whites for, my mom was going through a black and white phase. She really loved that with teal and pinks and stuff. So I was doing memory keeping with all this stuff. And then when I first started, well, actually, yeah, I started going for this sort of, it's paper. It feels like actual, real paper, like if you're making it yourself with the indents on it. So a softer, more vintagey feel in the paper. And so I've had them forever. So I was just like, I always forget about them, and I'm so stoked when I find them. All right, we need to. Gonna go this way. I see that here, so we know we need to go up that way. And I don't know if I want to go all the way up. Maybe I do. All right, let's do a proper rip here. Well, not a proper rip. I really don't want a proper rip. I want something a little more edgy here. I guess I'm gonna go for my very bumpy whatever here. Am I on camera? Sort of. Don't really want to clean. I want something with some whatever texture. Of course, I ripped it where I'm not supposed to rip it. Well, that didn't work. I mean, I could just do that one. Or, so if I would take off some of this, I sort of like just the corner, cut it to match, do a little inking. That might work, actually. Like, sometimes best laid plans, right? It's never fun to, I mean, I could reverse it and just go cut it now if I really wanted. I did get it, just not in one piece. So I really wanted to, about here, and probably right where, I'm going to go just there on the edge to that line. Yeah, pretty much. Okay. Well, let's try this. It's too big. Whoops, went too far. Where's the line? Thankfully, I'm loving the lines because it's giving me a nice grid pattern here to work with, and I can see exactly what I'm doing. There's a thought. Okay, so we can do this. We'll, of course, cut to work it. I want a little bit of both. Now, the only downside with that is I'm going to want, let me bring it down a little bit, something in that corner. Now, whether it be a word, whether it be something, because that's up there and it's great. It would make more sense to put this down here within it. You just wouldn't see the leaves. So unless see, it's on a leaf, greeny leaf pattern, right? So unless we leave this up here and I just put one of these guys back up here, and I think I have a couple little ones. So we might have both corners. So it's great. We're making these toppers with cutouts and ordeals. I still think we need to add in that lace. I forgot about that. We got to go find which. Oh, I have a white. Nope, I have white lace for the other one. That's our part. Having to not be confused to what you're doing with what. We're going to use this for sure for the next one, for the flip over, for the flip out topper. We're going to use this to help keep it sort of covered. And it works really well. This one's a little wide by itself unless I cut it down for this. We need a decent lace for over here. What do we need? Oh, what do we need? What do we need? What do we need? And where am I going to find it? Oh, well, maybe. We're keeping to the white. We're keeping to the, a couple different things. I could go very roughly across the top and then sort of recluster the leaves and the flowers there. I don't know if it's not bad because it has that wave effect like we do here. This will get cut and inked and edged. Otherwise, I mean, this is more ruffle, so it's not like it's any less. It's just, you know, I think it's too frilly. That's too frilly. This is a very cute, it's floral, but it's very retro, very contemporary and modern. So I don't feel like that's the right lace. I feel like this actually sort of works. And I might even cut it to where it just sort of sits inside it. Okay, we're just gonna commit. You know, I ink it. I was like, nope, it's not hem and haw over it. There we go. Put that in my stash up there. Now I do have, which I just noticed, I use this on the other one, but it is pretty in blue. I have this too, but not quite long enough. I have to figure out how to work that in. So no, not quite. Okay. I do notice I have a blue bow, and I have, I was going to do a butterfly, but it's tealy blue. I don't know what happened to this bow. Apparently it needs to be retied. Apparently we have issues. May have to cut it. I don't know how they do this. I really don't. I'm like, oh my goodness. Do. Come on. Right, you have to tie and retie, and probably machines do this by hand. I mean, no one does this by hand probably anymore. Like, no one probably does this by hand anymore. You can always cut the one side if it's just not, you know, it's too long or whatever. Make it fit, make it match. It's like you want it tied just right, and then you tie it. And so we have something like that to maybe tag into that. A lot of blues and teals. We are making this work. Yeah, we're going to girly up this and sort of reduce the poor, what do you want to call it, sort of look down a little bit. I am going to add some, maybe, if it'll do it, a little bit of green on the end here. I feel like this, though I did not ink any of them on the page to keep it pretty flat and contemporary, I feel like we need a little bit of stuff here. Just a little. Alright, let's see what we can do. Let's get things off and start seeing what we can accomplish. Because I don't want to be wasting all the time. I do want to attempt the other one. Now, the other one is cardstock. We're going to fold it up to make a pocket on the inside, do a little inking or stenciling if we need to, or just leave it white. And we're going to tab it over, you know, and use some lace to help keep it together, to hide the fact that we have our pocket, our window pocket. So that's going to be fun. Hopefully we can get to it today. I know it's Tuesday, so I don't want to make it too late or too long of a video, but yeah, you can always watch it into the evening, see if it inspires anything for the next day, right? Sometimes it's nice to have something that, goes, I gotta do that tomorrow. Hopefully doesn't keep you up. There's always that problem too. I just realized that is not ready to go. I forgot to do that. We'll do this. Not sure what this, I don't think this one's any good. It's an old one that's not what we sell. I have to go see if I have any extras. Sometimes I have extra little guys that don't match, like don't pair up right away. So I gotta go see if I have a new one. I feel like the ink is, or the glue is coming up and clumping stuff up. So we don't want to do that. We don't want that. So we're not going to go too high up. We're going to go about there, and then I will cut whatever doesn't line up. I could actually just roll it over and just deal with the corners. Well, we're going to glue it all down. It's not something, this topper is definitely going to get glued. Fabri-Tac glued down pretty well. It's definitely not going to have much, we're not going to leave anything behind. We're not going to leave anything open. Not at all. Alright, so we just need to do the corner if I can find it again. I'm like, if I can find the corner again. There we go. I'm like, I covered the corner up. Oops. There we go. Having it covered over does make it a little cleaner. Wrapping it over the bottom so that it's not something loosely here. Where oh wait, did it line up? Interesting how it's acting a little damp. There we go. We're just going to go across everything carefully, making sure it's all glued down. Well, I have it in front of me, which hopefully didn't go too far off the page there for you guys, so sorry. Well, let's get this layer in here. Let's see. let's see, let's cut that up. Let's get, come on. There we go. Get the lace on it. So we're creating toppers with different ways because we don't have always, this one had no cardstock type scrapbook paper we were using. This is just the thinner stuff, tissue box, fabric, just whatever we had to get this one going, which is fine. It's awesome. Loving that we get a paper scrap and we're not quite going digital, going a little analog old school, right? Taking what we have. I know we do digital because we want to share, with everybody what we have or what someone else might not have, and that's sometimes we got to go through our stash and just use up what we've got. And it's not always digital. So I am trying to get some of the excess glue when it's still sticky off. That isn't necessarily needed. Okay, so we have that. So now that we've created this fun piece, very unusual in shape. Now I do feel because we didn't do, we didn't go all the way to the edge. I'm sort of thinking, let's see if we can, by chance, I don't know if I can because I put the glitter, oh, I got it, yes. We're going to round up these corners a little bit since we did not cover the lace to the edge. You can just get it in there because it's the little stuff. There we go, I like that. Just sort of rounded up the corners. I'm trying to see if I can get any green on the dots. Yeah, sort of, not really. I'm not going to stress over it. All right. I am wondering, though, if we can get a little bit of blue on the flowers. I didn't mind to a point, but I've gotten so used to edging, inking things. The blue, it's there. I mean, it is light. It is something that it is giving a little bit of dimension. It's just that small amount. I can't help it. I'm like, I know we didn't do it on the inside, but this is the cover. It needs a little bit more, oomph. That goes over there. I lost it. There it is. Oh my God, I lost it. So we're just going to do a little bit of inking here. Just to, and hopefully I can get to the other one. I have a feeling I'm not going to make it as fast as I'm trying to go and, not hem and haw too much. I have a feeling I'm going to end up spending my whole time on one cover. The other one is die cuts and, the same thing. We had fussy cuts left over from the cardstock. I have the butterfly. I have some paper left over that we can layer on the polka dots. Try to give ourselves a little cover, right? So I feel like, it's sort of the same thing. It's just using the pieces, layering it up. The only difference is that one will have sort of a lacy edge, like we do when we want to cover up when we want to cover up the sew job, what binds it together, the sewing job. If we don't want to see the string, we put lace on the spine, whether it's a flat one or a spine. And actually have a 1-inch spine or whatever. I don't know what this one is. I think we decided it was close to a 1-inch, right? I think this one was close to a 1-inch spine. I do have a butterfly, what's the word? Punch, and I have some stickery paper that is covered in ink that I was using for the to sort of dry off and work the brush. When I was doing those pages and going between the blue and the green, I didn't want them to blend too much. So here, we're gonna try. I know I'm gonna put these down and I'm going to regret it, but you know how this goes. I put stuff down and then go, well, I really needed it to do. And I think if we do this right, we may want to go at an angle and cover them up, put them together, cover it up, right? Let's go here. You need it clustered, but trying to figure out which way to cluster it is always my dilemma since they are almost exactly the same. Everything's almost the same. Ugh. But I was thinking about taking this, because I have all this color, right? And seeing, what's in here, if there was, it's a pretty blue-green. I can always then tip it with, do the green, and then, add a little blue ink around the edges, and it would give me something that matched. Maybe we can put that somewhere. I have a feeling I have an idea. But yeah, die cuts, hole punches, things like that. I wonder if instead of that, we did that, because those two are slightly different in color. I mean, they're the exact same sort of cut, but they're different colors. And then you have her. And if I add in a little bling, I don't have it out, do I? I put them away. How dare I? I put my stickle away. I know better. I have green and I have blue. We could do blue. All right, let's glue. I think I have what I want. We're going to go slightly at an angle that way. We're going to add some blue stickle to this once it's glued together. And that's a sticker, actually. So let's get the other two together, and then I can... Can you see everything? I hope so. Sort of, huh? Let's see, we move it in a little bit. And I move down a little bit. I'm actually up a little high for once. I'm up a little higher than usual. All right. And hopefully I don't get my hair in the picture. But hey, if my hair and whatever gets in the picture, it's clean, it's pretty, it's straight. I don't get to do that very often. But I know we have potential rain on Saturday, so when I wash my hair next, it will be curly and up in its banana comb and all that jazz, because I can't do it any other way. There's just no point of going straight with my hair if it's wet and moist out, because my hair just curls and fuzzes terribly, which is never a good thing. So I will do it curly now when it's only slightly warm and going to be maybe, you know, it's going to cool off, but it's not going to be crazy in any manner to where I can, you know, get away with it. All right, so we are using all kinds of fun things. There it is. I'm like, I know there's a sticker edge to that thing. I was just using a long strip of sticker paper that I didn't. We did move things a little bit here, I noticed, but that's okay. We're going to do that. And then we'll stick all at the end here. Now I have this blue. I was going to also try to tack this in somewhere. I just don't know whether to go middle. It is a little bit more teal, but we need, it's like we almost need that though. We got the blue, we got the green, now we need a little bit of the teal. I think we need it, but let's leave that there and see if that's what we want to do. Let's move this off to the side. Let's get this other one in place now. Since it's on green, I don't have to do leaves, because it's literally sitting on like a grass-like, you know, feel. So it's the trees and the tree branches and the leaves in green, of course, the flowers in blue. And, you know, I was very happy with everything. But yeah, let's add some blue stickle to some stuff. Wouldn't that be nice, right? I'm liking that idea. Put it there. So we're going to do this. Now, I don't squish it down completely, so we're not going to put glue all the way to the edges, because it naturally curves upward, and we want to sort of keep that, which is the joy of toppers and covers, is that they don't have to be perfectly flat design. We can have our dimension and thickness and textures and a little bit more three-dimensional feel. And okay, so a little bit inking on those did make a difference. I love it. Okay, but yeah, the stickle, I think, yeah, the stickle is definitely going to make some fun. I think we definitely need it. Oh my gosh, totally need it. Okay, so it's just deciding if that's the best spot for this. Seeing if we can get it to flat out. And because, even though it is a little offset, I think it sort of works in my favor in that corner. I think it's time to glue stuff down, ladies and gentlemen. I am using the fabric tack because it's cardboard on fabric. So let's make sure we've got the best. Come on. Love it. It's on its side and it still doesn't want to come out. I know somebody's leaving them upside down. I'm always afraid they're gonna. Though I do have a fabric tack bottle over there that I have to keep an eye on, that it is upside down, because it's near the bottom of it, and I need to probably put it in here. And I just, you know, I'm like, oh, I probably should check that. So there we go. We used one of the flaps of the same tissue box It had stripes on the sides. It had florals on the squares, on the squares. Flaps where it needed to keep it together. Interesting, right? I'm not sure why that was. I thought that was a very interesting combination, but okay. Nothing I would have expected, but that's okay. But hey, we didn't use them as pockets, so let's use them as the base. It is another material. I know it's another pattern or shape, but it helps sort of reduce some of our, what's the word? Very retro, what's the word? Waves here. I'm like, yeah, a little much on the waves. But it was just great color, and color match. That wasn't the problem. All right, so we have that up there. We're going to put some, whoops. Yeah, see, that's the thing I worry about. This thing does have a tendency. I wish it would bend out a little bit more and not so concave in. It's something that I didn't catch maybe when we were doing this to see if I could give more of an indent to help with that. I'm not sure what we were needing, what we needed for that, but all right, so I want to give some character to our butterfly. We need to do some sorry guys. Okay, there we go. And I feel like even if it's just a rub, we need to mimic some of it, I think. We need to enhance these. Let's use the shapes that are there. Let's use the designs that are here where we can, and give a few of these things a little bit more. I don't want to pray too much. Come on. I was like, I'm afraid to. I was like, wait, not that one. That one is for lace. Not that I think we're about to finish off that lace. I just think it got a little jammed up, which is fine. It's been beneficial because it means I'm not gooing out terribly. But all right, there we go. I'm like, I want a little. Don't want a lot, but come on. There we go. Oopsie. And that was a lot more than I wanted. So we're going to spread that one out everywhere. And that one's just going to get spread out everywhere. So this whole guy is just going to get covered for the most part. And I'm going to use my hand to sort of spread it out. There we go. Yeah. But you will just... There we go. Okay. Sorry, something else. Things like that, right? Yeah. That one does, that has something, that has something, that even has a little something now. So let's just put one smack in the middle of this one maybe. There we go. Now, truthfully, if I do this correctly, we need do I have pearls? I mean, I have pearls, don't get me wrong, but you can probably. So 3 little dots for decor. And ta-da! Glitter. Glitter everywhere. Sorry. There we go. We've created a topper with one more piece of tissue box, right? Another flap. The papers we used inside, the cutouts, you know, some lace, a bow. I want the satin bows, which we have them in this shop. A variety of cool tones, warm tones, rainbows, all kinds of satin and gingham checkered. Bows at about 1 1/4, 1.5 inches when tied properly. Mine's, this is what's left over and weird, right? But, yeah, there's those in the shop if you are looking for them. Sets of 6, 8, and 10, I think, depending on what color scheme I put together. But there's, you know, both satin and the gingham checkered bows. So, definitely keep an eye out for that. If you're in need of them this fall, or not fall, yeah, fall, winter, whatever, we've got it all. Okay, there we go. We've got that. And I'll double check the glue when I get going once it's glued. But that is, I think, cute. Gives it some personality. Brings the flowers from the inside out. Then when you're going through, you'll see that. And you're like, oh, okay. But definitely a great, and it's nothing major when we put this down. It's not going to get crazy. And if you need to, you can glue these down if you feel they're getting caught. But, you know, interestingly bound in, 4 signatures, 184 plus pages, nice tissue box. What did we say? 5 by something in the end. Edge to edge is like, oh yeah, it's about 5 1/4 by 4. So it's smaller than a 4 by 6, but you can always trim photos a little bit and glue down photos. You have plenty of writing space. Nice, slick, great, thick 32-pound bright white paper, inked on the edges, and voila. Yay! Okay, first top, or second topper actually, if you watched Tuesday, that was the Christmas topper, which, yay, right. Oh, if not, go back definitely and watch Tuesday. Hopefully Thursday I got, I think I started a Halloween, little bitty bitty Halloween project for Joey. I decided to do that. Change up gears a little bit during the week. Like I said, this was our weekend project, but we do Christmas and other holidays thingies during the week. So, okay, now, do I have time? 35 minutes. Yes, okay. I got like 25, 30 minutes. We were going to use this as our topper. We had leftover goodies. I had the lace. Get this off. I had a couple of these guys left. We have this. I have all the round cutouts, but then I did find vellum and paper to help with layering, to, you know, more fussy cuts, whatever, to help decorate. And actually, we do this in a way that we could probably cutely cut one of these else out if we need to, because I think I have that one. That is that one right there. And that's a big one I've had before, but again, it has an edge piece. So either way, we're going to have a flat edge, but maybe we can do something that layers accordingly. So we have some pieces here to work with to create this cover and get it done. But first we have to measure out just how much. Oh, they're so yeah, I will probably go and grab the last of the cardstock that has all the pretty layers and flowers, and I will ink and whatever. And we got them all sewed in. Really happy about that. There's that. So this one was flat because it was on the outside, but we're covering it. This one's tied on the inside, has its pretty, right, with all its papers, and then the outside. So this one has, you know, oh, I didn't do that one. Yeah, this one I have to still have a few fussy cuts to decorate that pocket with. But see, we have our pocket here. Ooh, came unglued. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, vellum can be tricky. Can be temperamental, I guess. But we were playing with it a lot, so doesn't surprise me that it came unglued. There we go. Okay, so we have our our lace trim pockets on our vellum. We have the pockets on each one, which is great. We made pockets out of the vellum to hide the fact that they were something that was poking through, and because I didn't want to see the white on the back. So this case we have pockets on the sides, right? Ta-da! And then this one has pockets. No pocket on one side. It's just a cute paper because we can see it, but we have a pocket on the top. So I will have to put little things and simple things in those pages. We have to do a large pocket with some lace up here, and then I have to come up with, you know, some ephemera to go in these kind of pockets. So I think we'll use the leftovers on that. But what I wanted to do is I want to be able to see a little bit of the orange on both ends. I don't want it to be completely covered. We're going to go right to the hole because we don't want it to interfere with the tie job. So right here, I'm going to get a pencil, something. I want to get an idea of where I should be folding it. Now, I also do not need all of this. I only need maybe to here to wrap it around. So maybe I'm going to perfectly cut this. I don't know. I need to fold it here. I'm not cutting down here. I'm going to fold it up. It's going to be a pocket. I don't really want to lose a lot of this. This little strip here is fine. I will use it inside, but this needs to come off. I think I could probably do it along the strips and just hope that those dots are straight. All right. Hope that the dots are not at a weird angle and I miscalculated. There we go. More scrap paper. Okay, so now I turned it upside down, didn't I? Nope. Yes, no. Where is my... Did I make a mark? I know I didn't cut the mark off. Oh, yeah. Oh, there it is. Wow. I'm like, it's ink, and it's like, how do you see it? I wanted to make sure that was straight. Neither one of them look straight. Right. I hate that. You're like, Seriously. Trying to find a cutter. Hold on. My little ones. My little itty bitties. There's so many things everywhere. All right, let's see. Let's see if I can straighten this out just a little bit. Last thing you want is, I don't know. You pick it and it feels straight, or straight, because remember I cut this square out. So, you know, it's not like I cut it out of the paper, which means there's, you know, there's error. You know, I just went ahead and did the best I could, because I was like, oh, it's just a square in the middle. We're fine. And let's just make sure everywhere we go, we're just going to, there we go. I feel better knowing it's, you know, squared off. Now, I did realize, and I have a feeling, knowing me, I might want to corner the flap, right? I cut off my dot, didn't I? Yes, I did. There we go. I think I'm going to corner these once it folds in. Or definitely, I know it's all square, but I feel like it needs to be rounded for this flap so you know it's there. Something tells me it should be. But, you know. So if I did actually square it off nicely. There we go. Is that too small? Yep, I like it. Okay. We're going to make it work. I'm going to do, I want to, that's nice. So that way we have a nice little pocket on the inside so I can put something small in there. It does feel a little wide, but if I fold that down or cut it, I fold it down in white, I could put the blue over it. It just feels a little tall, even for a pocket, but we're not going to waste anything. I just don't feel like cutting anything. So, I'm leaving black marks. Ugh. Cut on cut. All right, so we do that. I can layer it and cut the white there. Right, do some blue and inking. All right, let's see what we can get here. Let's see what we can do. Trying to cut as little as possible. Making the most of it. Now, if I really wanted to, it's a pocket one way and a tuck the other. I mean, it's not a great tuck, but I could glue this down. And it could be a tuck here and a pocket here. And I am getting black, that's glue, not. Okay, I forgot about that. I tipped my fingernails with black nail polish, and I was worried about that. I'm really lucky with the other one. Okay, let's do that. I love this, so we're going to do our thing, cut it, and then I think I'm going to ripple it. I think I know exactly what I want to do. Too many things. Hold on. I need to find my spot, because I do want to be able to see a little bit of that green. Keep doing that. We're going to make it center just inside the green that I inked. And then we're going to decal edge, and we're going to keep going. So, and then we're making a pocket. Now, I am pocketing this all the way over, I just realized. And we're going to be folding it. Okay, hold on. Hold. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but it might not be as easy to deal with if, yes, okay. So I need to do some scoring, and I have a feeling I'm going to need to cut that off because it's going to get in the way of, yeah, it's going to get in the way of the fold. It's going to make it really hard to deal with the fold if I leave that excess there. So as much as I want to, there we go. Then I now know where to fold. I am folding it backwards so I sort of see, but then we're going to go back this way. Okay, because what I want to do is this. It just come up a little short, and that's okay. It is a little wide, and it is a little thick, but what we're going to do is try to wrap this around the best we can, and then cover it in lace. So we're going to hide it a little bit, but to soften it, we are going around the corners so that it is not so obvious and so crazy. I want to round these corners. I'm debating on rounding the corners on the other side. And to make it easier, we're going to do a slight sideways, slight angle. It's like when you have two pockets inside. We cut things at an angle to make it not so tight at that corner. So the last thing we want to do is make it too wide that I can't get Like, I can't get it folded over without it popping up every 5 seconds. I really don't want to have it too terribly. All right, so I cut that, but okay, so let's do this. We're still gonna have our thing. Forgive me as I try to cut an angle similar to what I have to blend in so that it's keeps to that border look I wanted. There we go. All right, so if you cut the same angle and then move it in, you get that border you're looking for. And now I have to come back out to this side. Ay, ay, ay. You have to make adjustments as you go. You just do. You all have to make those little adjustments, right? There we go. Let's get it glued down. Deco cut the edges so it has some personality. Let's just hope this all works. I am going to leave it as a potential tuck if I want to. So we can tuck something up, tuck something in. It's all good. Of course, I can't cut straight, so everything's a little wonky. Okay, there's that. And then where's my decal? I'm covered in glitter. It's how my fingers ends up on my pants, which is so funny. I hope you guys are seeing all this. I realize I am getting quite crazy with the supplies here, all the tools here. So I am purposely, so leaving it, instead of leaving it up and over, I am going to cut it off a little bit and give that roughed edge there. Cute border piece for later. I don't know what that's going to be. All right, that is fluff I don't need. And I missed in my, I think I just missed the trash can. I thought I saw it. I thought I knew where it was, and I'm like, just drop. It goes wherever. It's fine. Cats will find it later. Okay, now, minus the fact that I have black marks everywhere, I think it's time we put a little stencil in here. We are working on the inside. Isn't that funny? That was not really the intention. That wasn't what it was meant to be doing right now. But where did my stencil go? Maybe what is something? Well, I know that matches actually the other kit, but we are florals like this, so I think it's okay. We need pink, so let's see if we can get some pink where the flowers are. Maybe without ruining my. Let's do some pink florals. Oh, this is green. There we go. I'll get some, probably some green in there too, but it's like, let's do the floral where we know that's floral in pink, and then the oddball stuff can be a blue-green overlay to get, you know, a little something in here so it is not so not so bland, because, you know, this is not all. There we go. That helps a little bit. So we do need something in this corner, though. I'm like, we need more, because that is not going to work. Let's see. We can do a slight continuation, if I'm really careful. I'm going to do a little bit, but not too much. There we go. We're going to sort of recreate bits and pieces of it to get over where I want it. Giving it color, because yes, we have a pocket and we don't want white. Who wants white? There we go. That worked. Woohoo! That worked. There we go. Perfect. Oh, loving it. Let's do the green around the outside edges. I don't know if we're cornering any of this. I don't think so. I don't know. Yeah. See, I put it back upright. Never a good thing. Never a good thing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is not going as planned, but oh, I'm like, what is the pink for? But we need to sort of get the inside prepped so I know that we have the right everything needed. Now, I'm not sure about gluing this down. I'm feeling, I think we need to. Let's glue it down so that way it keeps that bulk to a minimum. I think it's going to help if we know it's glued in place. And that's the thing. If I don't get this done right, you know, I can't really put it on the cover. Okay. Because we wanted to hide hide the string, right? I wanted another something fun, paper, over the top. And I went around those corners. Being a topper, I went around the corners so that when you pop it open, after you take off the string, it pops open, you have a pocket, but then it reveals, hopefully, a fun, lacy journal card that I'm going to stick in here with lace across the top for another element. It is a little shorter than I wanted, but that's okay. It peekaboos it, and that's not a bad thing. Let's just do little corners. Let's not go crazy. Something just to soften it up. Let's do the green on the inside, or the outside here, since we did it on the inside, to finish it off. I don't plan on seeing this. I'm hoping we're covering it with lace. Again, just to reinforce everything, I really want this mostly across the back. And so whatever little pops over the edge, I think will be a nice addition. So, oh my goodness. Every time we use that thing, everything in the world falls out of it. It makes no sense. Not sure why it has an open door to the latch if it's just going to do that every time. Okay, so I think, oh, I'm like, which cat do I have coming out? Yes, the kitty cats have been interesting lately, so. Okay, I'm hoping, I don't think I'm going to get this done. I am a little sorry that the videos have definitely been long, but I feel like we're actually getting more done and most of the time. And I'm able to, you know, show you as a project and not spend, you know, weeks on it or not getting it done because I'm trying to break it apart into little aspects, which I'm like, ugh. So we're going to put the lace on. Because I sort of want to hide or utilize what's there. I wonder if I can corner that. I don't know how well lace corners, right? It's not paper, but I feel like I want a little bit more rounded edge there to make sure. Oh, not really. Okay. But if I sort of put it inside, I don't want it to be outside. And so here's what we're going to do. We're going to utilize a little bit of a round that's already there. A little more, maybe. Sure, there's a cat. Okay, honey, hold on. She wants her box. I know, but I have to move stuff. She's been all over the board. I've had the box like on the dryer. I've had the box in a couple different places because I've had to move it. I had the big shot out at one point and I just didn't have any more room. So I moved her box, her sleepy box, onto the dryer. But then she wanted, of course, sleep on the fabric. And I'm like, no, no, no. No fabric sleeping for you. That has to go out or has to do something. Okay. So it's slightly rounded. We're going to have it sit just inside this. So we're just going to utilize it. And my thing went off. And I don't know if that was my dad or... Of course. Okay. Well, it'll definitely... I guess I could pause it and hope. Because if it's too far along. I know, you guys. I'm so sorry. I do appreciate you guys all watching something. Parts of it, fast forwarding when I'm lagging. It's okay. I don't blame you. I do it too. Where I'm like, okay, what's the next thing you're doing? What are you doing next? How do we do this? What are we doing? You know, unless there's instructions sometimes. Yeah, who wants to watch me fuss and fumble, right? But, okay, so there we go. We're sort of utilizing that round a little bit. I need to be a little bit more, a little rounder. There we go. Make a little rounder. Not perfect, but something. Okay, so then that's a lot more than I expected on this side. So we're just going to glue it down a little bit. I'm not going to do a perfect glue all the way out because I want to see if we need to tuck anything underneath it. I don't want to be... Sometimes I want the lace over the top. of something, and sometimes I want something, I want something underneath the lace, and sometimes I want something over the lace. So we're just going to do the edge here for the moment. I'm going to leave this loose so that I can have that decision as we're going along. Now, make my life a little easier. Let's get something here to start bringing this down. It is fat, it is fluffy. In the fact that with the lace and the flip-flops and the cardboard, it is doing different things. So we definitely want to tie it. I did pull out pink. This is beautiful. And I think it's going to be the really good color for the tie job. So, okay, 55 minutes. Let me pause for a moment and see what I can put together. And then I can come in here and try to finish this. So you guys can see at least the idea of what I want to do to the front cover of this. So give me one moment, ladies and gentlemen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think I figured out the cover so we can get to this pretty quickly and get it done and get you guys out of here. I was like, oh, we're almost done. We're almost done. So let's not stop. We're going to add this in here. So, okay, I have an idea. I have thoughts. I have thoughts. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but see, I'm so glad we left this up because we are going to glue down some vellum that we had cut. That seems to fit the fun direction here. Though I did just realize something, but I don't think I can utilize it. So we're going to shove it in as far as we can. There we go. Oops. We're going to make this sort of a tabbed out thing on this edge here, so it's easy to remember to pull it out. I did do a little deco work to the edge here of the vellum. And I'm thinking, which can be dangerous, let's see if we can lightly cut upward at an angle. I say that, but my angle of work is terrible. Sort of want that same feel. There we go. I don't know. We'll do that. Let's get this all glued down. Now, hold on. We're going to get the vellum glued down. Nothing is going behind the vellum. It is all going on top. Once I have this done. So we are going to put her half in, half out. Let's keep to the... I was like, what's that? Oh, that would be the actual close to the heart reflection mainframe. That would be the company of the... or the company that produces the cardstock I had. I don't remember if this one came from a friend. A friend of mine was doing Creative Memories for a while. And, there we go. And so she actually came across another lady who was just cleaning out, like, all her stuff. And so, like, she got a bunch of things that we were able to go through. And, like, there was duplicates. I, inherited a whole freaking black canvas tote, like, for, like, conventions and stuff. Like, we're talking a tote of materials. I was like, oh my gosh. A scrapbook paper, which is where I found this one. I was looking through it between this and my sister-in-law. Yeah, I've gained quite a few scrapbook pieces, and so, which is great. I'm loving it. Now, this one has the word love in it. We did when I was cutting things out, right? So I got to decide where I do and don't want the lettering. It's not perfect. You're not going to see all of it. So I was debating. Hold on. Eek. There we go. Go that way, maybe? Trying to decide. I wanted it tucked half in, half out. I was just sort of bummed that the L, like the E, is going to be covered no matter what I do. I guess I could try to make it shorter, but I think no matter what I do, it's a lot of, we lose a lot of the leaf. Let's see. To do it. Yeah, come on. Let's see if we can make it a little smaller. The joy of fussy cutting things is you can decide, like, how much, how little. Any one thing we want. Oops, that gave out. That's okay. Let's not break those. All right. You can sort of see that V to the E. You sort of get the feel that that's what's there. That's okay. That works. So now we can glue down this. So yes, this is over an hour. I'm sorry. Like I said, I really appreciate if you guys are watching through all of this or fast forwarding enough to get a feel, because it is a lot. It is. I get it. Now we want to make sure that this is going to do well, that it's going to open. Yay! And I'm going to glue this down. Carefully try to put this in there. There we go. One side sort of caught, but the other one did not. So let's sort of try to glue that string down into it. So you really can't tell. There you go. All right, so there's that. That may or may not stay. If it pops up a little bit, that's okay. And then I want to ink this a little bit. And we're going to put it on the edge here, sort of like a tab, to help, just give us this great feel. I think it's going to be great to have that sort of feel of a tab so we can know where to sort of grab for it and, you know, flip it open. You'll be like, oh, there is something there, right? So let's just go about halfway. And this one happens to have a flat edge, which we're not using per se, but it's going to be hidden by the butterfly for the most part, so I'm not too worried about it. There we go. Let's get some of these. Like I said, these came from my aunt. I cannot tell. There's a front. I know there's a front and back, but that must be it. That seems just easier. Okay. And let's see. This one. I'm going to wear. I think I need all of it glued, but yeah, I don't think we have anything not. I think it's all going to be covered. It's on top of paper no matter what we do. But these are freestanding embroidered pieces. And she does a number of them throughout the year. She does little things like this. She had butterflies. She had bees. She had sewing buttons, which I have some somewhere. I have to do with them. And then she does larger freestanding things. Like you saw, I had a silver snowflake. I did, I started this time last year. And that gorgeous, huge snowflake journal. She's done bats. She does bats. I think this time of year. I don't know if she has any bats left. She does the cutest, or not cutest, but the prettiest freestanding. The wording bats. I have a couple in my daughter's room. She has a purple one and a black one that she still left up. I wasn't sure with the remodel. She'd be like, nah, I don't need those anymore. And she kept them up. I was so happy. Well, they match her room, but you never know with kids when the fad disappears, when it's not a thing anymore. Oh, man. All right, so there's that. I think we have a cute, and this way when I tie it, it's not going to get in the way of anything. It does have the word love. It has flowers. It has a butterfly. It has white. So we got some new colors in here. I can lightly, because I realize it is a little creamier. Might be a little much, so let's just tone it down a little bit. There we go, just a smidge. Because it isn't bright white. We're not really using bright white anything. But there we go. So we now have this beautiful flap that actually is your top to our journal. Opens up, has both a tuck and a pocket. It reveals the window pocket that's going to have hopefully a beautiful journal card with lace on top. That'll also stick up here to give it more personality in the front. And then we go into our, what's that considered? What? 2 there. 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. There's like 22 pages here. So even if all 3 happen to have an average of 22, it's 66 little pages to write on. Cute little events, silver lining of the day, favorite moment, favorite quote, just I took my nail polish right off. Favorite thing for the day, whatever it may be. Cute little journal. I'm so stoked about. So I will get some journal cards in here too, which will help expand those potential 66 pages of writing memorabilia space into something that, is enjoyable for yourself or a special someone in your life who loves to journal, who just loves to write and memory keep and, would really enjoy something of this nature. Very pretty. It's very floral, right? With a little bit of a vintagey flair because of the coloring, the splotchy textures. And, it's great that it's just not a bright, or it's not as bright as retro as the other ones. So, next time you see this, it will be tied. It will be full of ephemera. It'll have it'll have ephemera in all its proper pockets, because we know we have them in a few spots. Because remember, these guys have tucks too. So we've got tucks here where I don't have the 2 or 3 writing pages, we will have journal cards to fit in there to use in its place. So, and even this one. So we have 3 pockets, 2 here, the inside ones here. Like, oh, we have pockets everywhere. So thank you all very much for watching our journal topper sort of series this week. We did journal toppers in a couple places now in different ways. And I really appreciate you joining me and watching and going along with me as we, oh my gosh, got all that done, right? Oh, we did it. I know, over an hour. I'm so sorry. But I appreciate you watching and joining and fast forwarding or crafting in the background, or crafting while you're listening to me in the background. It really makes all the difference in the world, and I greatly appreciate it. So love you all very much. We will see you next week. No clue with what, because I've now done Christmas, I've done Halloween, I've done these guys. I don't know what we'll do. Maybe there'll be a couple shorts with the journal cards if something fancy and fun comes up with it. But outside of that, I will have to come up with a new project. Maybe the burgundy Christmas trifold cash thingy where they were making the Joey card maker stuff. I don't know. We'll find something. I'm bound to have projects somewhere that I need to work on. Finish Halloween, do something. So hope you enjoyed your week, and we will talk all real soon. Love ya. Bye-bye.